Okay, so you'll hear the recording, and then we can begin.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Commissioners regularly scheduled meeting on this day, April 9th, here at GHURA's main office in Sinahania. It is now 12:03 p.m. and we will begin with roll call. Vice Chair Sanchez. Here. Thank you very much. Commissioner Delia.
Here.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Rice.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Torres.
Present by Zoom.
And Commissioner Corpus. Correct. Thank you. We have a quorum. We will proceed with item number 2, the board meeting public announcements, which is in your packets. First printing on Tuesday, April 2nd, and then second printing on April 7th. And both check out. So we are good on that. Moving on to item number 3, approval of previous board minutes of March 26th, which is located in your packets as well.
If I may, Chairman, the only correction I had is actually on page 2 under new business, under discussion, item number 1 under discussion, where it said acting executive director Esteves stated the following. It was actually myself present, so it should just say executive director Napoli.
So noted. There's no further corrections. May I get a motion on the floor, please?
I will make a motion to approve the previous board minutes of March 26, 2024, with corrections.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Delia. I have a motion on the floor to approve the minutes of March 26th, subject to correction. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Rice, for the second. Any further discussion on the matter? Okay, hearing and seeing none, may I call for the vote? All in favor, please say aye. Raise your right hand so I can see it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, thank you. Motion passes unanimously to approve the minutes of March 26th, subject to correction. Moving on to item number 4, new business, resolution number FY 2024-012. Madam Director.
Thank you, Chairman Rivera. Resolution number FY 2024-012. Resolution recognizing the dedicated service of Mr. Frank T. Ishizaki and commending him for the contributions he made to the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority and the people of Guam. Whereas Mr. Frank T. Ishizaki has served with strong commitment and passion for public service on the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority Board of Commissioners. And whereas his ability to work with the authority's board and management has earned him the respect of his colleagues on the Board of Commissioners, the management and staff of GHURA. And whereas Frank's contributions to board discussions on housing issues gave GHURA's management clear direction to achieve its annual objectives to offer the people of Guam affordable housing where they can raise their families and fulfill their desire to be in a safe, decent, and affordable home. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners unanimously vote to express profound appreciation and gratitude to Mr. Ishizaki for his public service on the Board of Commissioners of the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority, and whereby a copy shall be provided to the Governor of Guam, Speaker of the Guam Legislature, and Legislative Committee overseeing the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority.
Thank you very much. Chief Ishizaki is, and part of the reason why he can't be here also is because he's teaching at the moment, right? And so I think it'd just be fitting of us to recognize his contributions and service to GHURA and also just in general public service, right? He's dedicated his life to service, and I think this is no different from any of that. He's a great member to have on any board. His sound judgment and voice of reason all the time, and also his care for the Women's Treatment Center. So we make sure we invite him to all of those events, because then he'll never forgive us for that. Right? But I think that, and it's a fine example of what we're all called to do, right? Which is to serve the people in the best way we can. I'd like to personally, thank Commissioner Ishizaki for all his years of service, and also for hanging on at the end, right, until we can to ensure the continuity of this board, right. And so, with that, we do have a vacancy in the board that we'd like to fill. So, please, if you have any recommendations, right, please express them to the director of the DD so that we can fill his shoes. I know it's a big shoes to fill, but we must move on nonetheless. And I think one of the things that I'd like to note for the record also is just when I was first here, one of the things I remember him echoing was to ensure that the pay, right, of the folks here at GHURA was up to speed and in such a way that makes GHURA competitive, right? And so, I was happy that passed in early January. And I think that, if it wasn't for voices like that, we wouldn't be able to take care of the people as much as we have. So for all of you who got a bump in January, right, please flood Commissioner Ishizaki's mail with a thank you, and let him know that it was appreciated. But anybody else have anything, or Commissioner Vic?
Yeah, I just wondered, I was just looking for like the years of how many years from what date to what date on the resolution, right? Is there any way to insert that in before?
You're absolutely correct. I know he went past a year. His term actually expired in February of 2023. However, he was gracious enough to continue to remain on the board until we could get an additional board member, because we still really have another one. I believe I can get that from for the board, and we can correct the resolution to include it. And maybe just we could table it for this one and approve it at the next board meeting. That's not a problem. And I apologize that we were remiss in including his term, but he did go a year beyond the expiration of his term, which was February of 2023. So we thank him for that.
Absolutely. Okay.
Right.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anything further? Right. If not, then we'll table this, right? And pending the edit, and then we'll put it back in the next meeting. maybe.
And
he
then,
can
and
join
then,
us.
and then hopefully I can extend an invitation and ask him if he could come because we want to present it to him. So, yeah, it might be a good reason to put it off until the next board meeting, and I'll reach out to him and see if he can make it just for that.
Good idea, thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Thanks, Luis.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. Okay, so we're going to table this for now. Moving on to item number 2, intent of award, IFB GHURA -24-004, renovation and upgrade of the basketball court at Total Gardens and construction of generator room. Madam Executive Director, floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairman. An intent of award for IFB GHURA -24-004, renovation and upgrade of basketball court at Total Gardens and construction of the generator room. Bid opening for the subject project was held on April 2nd, 2024 at 10:00 a.m. A total of 7 bidders registered for the bid and were given bid specifications, of which 3 submitted a bid. Listed below are the results of the bid submissions, which were opened and read out aloud publicly. Vendor number 1, OH Construction, with no bid bond or a bid bond. I think that's what the X means. Apologies. And 270 consecutive calendar days, submitted a bid for $1,010,000. Vendor number 2 was Surface Solutions with a bid bond and a bid of $1,323,886.41. The third vendor was Ian Corporation with a bid bond and a bid of $1,967,957, with the government estimate at $1,442,705.54. The below were the breakdown costs. OH Construction for base bid item number 1. Item description for design and permit. The unit bid price was $50,000. For item number 2, removal and demolition, the unit bid price was $40,000. For item number 3, structural work / metal column concrete foundation, bid price was $470,000. Item number 4, roofing and walls / zinc panel chain link with gate, with a bid price of $130,000. Item number 5, electrical work / light fixtures, raceway and others, with a bid price of $50,000. Item number 6, upgrade basketball court, with a unit bid price of $40,000. Item number 7, new ADA restroom construction, with a unit bid price of $60,000. And item number 8, project management and mobilization, with a unit bid price of $50,000, at a total cost of base bid number 1 at $890,000. Base bid number 2 is the new generator room construction, with a unit bid price of $120,000. The sum of all cost extensions are included in the base bid, and they are a total of $1,010,000. Vendor number 2 was Surface Solutions, with a base bid item number 1. Item description was renovation and upgrade of basketball court, estimated quantity 1 at unit measure LS, with a unit bid price of $1,206,700.11. And the item number 2 was the construction of a generator room, estimated quantity 1, measure LS, with a unit bid price of $117,186.30, for the sum of all cost extensions included in the base bid at $1,323,886.41. The third vendor was, for base bid item number 1 was Eon Corporation with, item description of their base bid, was number 1, removal and disposal of existing basketball court fence at, estimated quantity of 1 unit measure LOT, and we can have Annie chime in on what those acronyms mean. With a unit price of $11,767. Item number 2, removal and disposal of existing electrical chain link enclosure, estimated quantity 1 LOT at $15,867 as the bid price, unit bid price. Item number 3, services for licensed professional architect and engineer, quantity 1 LOT, unit bid price of $60,750. Item number 4, design and construct metal frame covered structure over existing basketball court, quantity 1 LOT, with a unit bid price of $934,880. Item number 5, design and construct reinforced concrete structure for male and female restrooms, quantity 1 LOT, with a unit bid price of $217,826. Item number 6, design and construct new drainage infiltration trench, quantity 1 LOT, with a unit bid price of $29,070. Item number 7, resurface entire basketball surfaces and provide new paint coating, quantity 1 LOT, unit bid price of $172,508. Item number 8, remove and replace all basketball posts, frame, and new board, quantity 1 LOT, with a unit bid price of $37,334. And then base bid 2 for the design and construction of new generator room with concrete pad, paint and plaster on wall, elastomeric roof coating, provide new 50 kVA generator, new automatic transfer switch, install wiring and connect to existing power panel, quantity 1 LOT at a unit bid price of $487,955. For the sum of all cost extensions are included in the base bid, with a total of $1,967,957. Excuse me. The Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority, GHURA's mission is to provide affordable, decent, safe, and sanitary housing through the maintenance of our existing units to ensure that the facilities owned and managed by GHURA are safe and appealing to the residents. The AMP4 management and staff are committed to supporting the development of a suitable and diverse recreation system that encourages participation from our residents. The renovation and upgrade of the Total Gardens basketball court to an open-air gymnasium would provide programs and projects in partnership with the community, such as providing opportunities for social interaction, creates opportunities for and promotes volunteering, and creates positive alternatives to youth offending, antisocial behavior, and crime. In review of the bid result, OH Construction provided the lowest responsive and responsible bid. After further clarification, the committee members determined to proceed with the award of 270 consecutive calendar days contract with no option periods, not to exceed the amount of $1,010,000. I believe A&E is present if you had any questions on the description of the bid items.
Commissioners, do you have any questions?
I have a question, why
Sure.
why it seems that there's only one bidder providing a generator, the 50K? not on the other bid, is that included on these others?
Yes, base bid 2 is the generator.
It says the generator room, but doesn't say a generator.
So I think I just to follow up on Carl's, right? I wanted to know the new generator room construction, what does that include in this bid? Because I noticed that, who's this? Ian Corporation itemized it, but the other two did not itemize on what is included. Hey, Mr.
Yes.
So we have Sunny here, but generally, unless otherwise specified, they don't have to itemize the entire base bid. They just have to provide the base bid price based on the scope of work. Is that about right? Now, it's kind of individual company practice, how they do it. And a lot of times it determines how they come up with their estimate as well. So, you know, they look at the project differently, look at where their cost savings are going to be. Every company is going to be slightly different. The minimum requirement though is that they provided a price for the base bid. So base bid item 1 and 2. Now, as to whether or not the scope included the generator, Sunny, were you tracking that there was a requirement for it? I think it was just for the room construction itself, right?
Yes, sir. I thought it was just the room. The generator was gonna be procured separately.
Yeah.
I might be wrong. I'm not sure.
And that's my understanding was that it's just for the room.
Yeah. So they may have offered it as something, you know, as hey, we could get the generator too, but correct. And that wasn't really that was consideration because it wasn't in the scope. Yeah.
Because I was just noticing that the amounts were really high, so I
Yeah.
was trying to figure out if that was included also, because 210 is really a low. I mean, 120,000 is really a low, you know, amount, so. Okay.
Yeah, that was probably about what was estimated
room.
for just the room itself. But you know, that's the art of bidding the scope when we rewrite the scope, but you know, sometimes they may interpret it slightly different or try to offer more.
So building the shell without.
Correct, yeah. On the government side, we have much more strict adherence to the scope.
Right.
On the private sector side, there's more room for flexibility.
I have a question.
Okay.
Yes, Commissioner.
Yeah, I know the building, the quotes from the 2, but does that include like wiring for the generators? Like, you know, embedded into the building already?
That's included in the scope, yeah. Because the general idea is that the generator just gets put in and then they'll hook it up,
Right.
which will be a separate bid item.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, I guess it's because we don't know the scope of work, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But, you know, just for general knowledge, right, the procurement records, they're always available for public consumption, right? Everything other than the, you know, proprietary information that the company provides as part of the bid. But generally, the scope of work, it's all out there, you know, as part of the bid.
Any further questions?
No?
If there are no further questions, may I get a motion on the floor?
I will make a motion to award, I'm sorry, let me get my paperwork together. To award IFB GURA -24-004 renovation and upgrade of the basketball court at Total Gardens and construction of a generator room to OH Construction. The award amount is $1,010,000.
Okay. Thank you very much. We have a motion on the floor. Make it a second.
Mr. Chair, just in addition to that, should we add members determined to proceed with the award of 270 consecutive calendar days contract with no option periods not to exceed the amount of $1,010,000 to OH Construction. Legal, is that something
That would be appropriate to include. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So would you like to amend the motion?
Just amend it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, amended to,
Award OH construction. And go ahead and just read. No, you're good. This happened to me last week.
yeah,
Or last
award
week,
OH construction, proceed with the award of 200 consecutive calendar days contract with no option periods not to exceed the amount of 1,010,000. Is that correct?
So noted.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion on the floor.
Second.
All right, thank you, Vice Chair, for the second. Any further discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing and seeing none, may I call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye. Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Aye.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. Motion passes unanimously. 5B GHURA -24-004. Moving on to the next item. Item number 3, intent to award IB GHURA -24-005, upgrade, renovation, and correction of above ground storm drains at Total Gardens as well. Madam Executive Director, floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairman. Intent of award IFB GHURA -24-005, upgrade, renovation, and correction of above-ground storm drains at Total Gardens. Bid opening for the subject project was held on April 2nd, 2024 at 2:00 p.m. A total of 8 bidders registered for the bid and given bid specifications, of which 6 submitted a bid. Listed below are the results of the bid submissions, which were opened and read out aloud publicly. Vendor number 1, Genesis Tech Corporation, with a bid bond, 420 consecutive calendar days at an amount of $624,932.65. Vendor number 2, Guam Evergreen Corporation, with a bid bond at amount of $713,060. Vendor number 3, OH Construction, with a bid bond and an amount at $749,000. Vendor number 4, Surface Solutions, with a bid bond and an amount of $902,176.28. Vendor number 5, Mega United Corporation Ltd, with a bid bond and an amount of $979,620. Vendor number 6, EN Corporation, with a bid bond and an amount of $1,331,959. With a government estimate at $889,872.66. The breakdown for each item description noted below, with Genesis Tech Corporation, base bid item number 1, the item description was item number 1, engineering, design, service, and permit, estimated quantity of 1, measure LS, unit bid price of $36,000. Item number 2, mobilization and demobilization, estimated quantity of 1, unit measure LS, with a bid price of $16,800. Item number 3, civil works, estimated quantity 1, unit measure LS, at a unit bid amount of $32,800. Item number 4, new works, in parentheses, conduct infiltration, drainage, catch basin. Estimated quantity 1, unit measure LS, with a unit bid price of $362,969.80. Item number 5, provide new cone curb near field inlet, or I'm sorry, I think that means new concrete curb near field inlet, with an estimated quantity 1, unit measure LS, unit bid amount of $114,590. Item number 6, install new chain link, estimated quantity 1, unit measure LS, and a unit bid price of $35,872.85. Item number 7, stormwater management service erosion control plan, estimated quantity 1, unit measure LS, and a bid price of $5,400. Item number 8, professional, estimated quantity 1, unit measure LS at a unit bid price of $6,000. Item number 9, miscellaneous and other works, estimated quantity 1, unit measure LS, and a unit bid price of $14,500, for the total cost of base bid 1 at $624,932.65. Vendor number 2, Guam Evergreen Corporation, base bid item number 1, item descriptions. Item number 1, mobilization survey design building permit, estimated quantity 1, at a unit bid price of $80,000. Item description number 2, demolition and debris removal, estimated quantity 1, a unit bid price of $50,000. Item number 3, purchase and ship pipes and pipe fittings to Guam, estimated quantity 1, unit bid price of $250,000. Item number 4, enlarge existing pending basin. I think that was meant to be ponding basin. Estimated quantity 1, unit bid price $80,000. Item number 5, install manhole catch basins. Estimated quantity 12, unit bid price $9,000 with a unit bid price altogether of $108,000. Item number 6, new chain link fence with gate, estimated quantity 302, measure LF, with a price of $80 and a unit bid price of $24,160. Item number 7, new concrete curb, estimated quantity 209, measure LF, price at a unit price of $100, unit bid price at $20,900. Item number 8, new infiltration trench, I believe is meant to be trench, estimated quantity 1, unit price of $40,000, unit bid price $40,000. Item number 9, regrading all affected areas, estimated quantity 1, a unit bid price of $40,000. Item number 10, miscellaneous items, estimated quantity 1, unit bid price of $10,000. Item number 11, final cleanup, estimated quantity 1, unit bid price of $10,000, for the total cost of base bid 1 at $713,060. We have vendor number 3, OH Construction, base bid item number 1. Item description for base bid 1 includes A, demolition works at $50,000. And then letter B, new works, itemized as design and surveying with government permit. Number 2, enlarge existing ponding basin and infiltration, new fence and gate. Number 3, B3, storm drainage system with catch basin and manhole, concrete curb, head wall, infiltration, follow-up scope of work, for a total price under new works at $684,000. And then item description, letter C, hauling and disposal of debris with final clean, with a unit bid price of $15,000 and a total amount of costs for bid, base bid item number 1 at $749,000. Vendor number 4, Surface Solutions, base bid item number 1, with the item description as GHURA drainage correction on Toto Gardens, estimated quantity 1, unit measure LS, and a total amount of cost for the bid at $902,176.28. Vendor number 5, Mega United Corp Ltd, base bid item number 1, item description, item number 1, upgrade, renovation, and correction of above-grade storm drains, estimated quantity 1, measure lot at a unit, total amount of unit bid price at $979,620. And vendor number 6, Ian Corporation, with a base bid item number 1, item description number 1, demolition work, estimated quantity 1, measure lot price 28, unit bid price $28,451. Item description number 2, new work, estimated quantity 1, measure lot and a unit bid price of $1,303,508 for the total amount of the cost for base bid item number 1 at $1,331,959. The Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority's mission is to provide affordable, decent, safe, and sanitary housing through the maintenance of our existing units to ensure that the facilities owned and managed by GHURA are safe and appealing to the residents. The AMP4 development would like to ensure that the above-ground storm drains located at Toto Gardens are upgraded due to the deterioration through the years. The management and staff have noted soil, weeds, and erosion coming out from a number of cracks in the drains. The AE division would also address the need to redirect the storm drain away from the private homeowner's roadway. In review of the bid result, Genesis Tech Corp provided the lowest responsive and responsible bid. After further clarification, the committee members determined to proceed with the award of 60 days for the design and 360 consecutive calendar days for construction with no option periods, not to exceed the amount of $624,932.65. And A&E is present if you have any questions you need answered.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, do you have any questions?
Only on this unit, I guess. And what is the LF and then the other listed as lot? What does that really mean?
LF means lump sum.
Okay,
That's more of a payment type. Lot is probably more accurate reflection. It means everything all encompassing for that description. And then you may also see there LF, which means linear foot.
More you know. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Sunny, this redirection of the storm drain away,
Mhm.
that's only affecting one homeowner? Is that affecting multiple?
Well, the drainage there, Mr. Chairman, is like this. If you look at the landscape, this is for M4, right? M4. Okay, the M4 landscape is very hilly. And so most of the houses are located on kind of like at the top of the hill. But there is right at the bottom of the hill, much of the rainwater, right, gets collected, goes down to like a collection pit. And right now the collection pit is open to the children for them to play and fall into. And so this project is to close down the open collection pit and also to upgrade and make the stormwater a lot larger and redirect it away from the open collection pit right now. So that's really what it is. Because of the added stormwater that comes out of the hill.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that's the best I can do. Only you can. If you ask me about how hot things are, I can tell you.
You said get it out of the kids' way, so that's enough for me.
I can fix your aircon and change a tire, but ask me about civil stuff, sorry.
So the topography is just a liability.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's all, that's correct.
Okay. Commissioners, any other questions? Okay, hearing and seeing none, may I call for a motion?
Mr. Chair, I will motion to award Genesis Corp Tech in the amount of $624,932.65 for the upgrade renovation correction of above ground storm drains at Total Gardens. Determined to proceed with the award of 60 days for the design and 360 consecutive calendar days for construction with no option periods not to exceed the amount of $624,932.65. In addition to that, with correction to item number 5 under Genesis Tech, just a minor spelling correction to the word concrete. And that's it.
So noted. Right, we have a motion on the floor. May I get a second?
I will second that motion.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Didier, for the second. Any further discussion on the issue at hand? Okay, hearing and seeing none, may I call for the vote? All in favor, please say aye. Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you very much. Motion passed unanimously. Okay, thank you, commissioners. Moving on to item number 4, resolution number FY 2024-013. A resolution adopting GHURA's reasonable accommodation policy. Madam Director.
Thank you, Chairman. Resolution number FY 2024-013, resolution adopting GHURA's reasonable accommodation policy. Whereas Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 prohibits discrimination on the basis of disability in programs and activities receiving federal financial assistance from HUD, and Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act prohibits discrimination on the basis of disability in all programs, services, and activities provided or made available by public entities. And whereas HUD has the statutory responsibility under Section 504 to enforce against discrimination on the basis of disability by any HUD-funded program or activity. And whereas the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority, GHURA, as the Public Housing Authority, PHA, is charged with local program enforcement of all HUD-funded or assisted programs and activities. Now, therefore, be it resolved that it is the policy of the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority to provide reasonable accommodations to applicants and participants who have disabilities and enforce unto the same for all HUD-funded programs and activities within its jurisdiction. And be it further resolved that the Deputy Director of GHURA shall be the Section 504 Administrator with the responsibility of compliance monitoring and oversight of Section 504 coordinators for HUD-funded programs and activities on Guam. And be it further resolved that the Section 504 Administrator shall promulgate processes and procedures to effectuate the directive of this policy, and shall periodically review and update them as necessary to maintain compliance. And our esteemed Deputy Director is present.
Thank you very much.
Judy, a quick question.
Sure.
I'm sure this was brought up in previous, this is just a presumption, with other board, the previous board. Was there a new precedence that took place, or was it an event or an incident that occurred to bring this back on the floor?
There was, full transparency, there was a complaint some years ago. We worked with the complainant and HUD, the HUD FAO office, which includes fair housing, but also has the Section 504. And, based on that, that conciliation, making things right, we found that, we needed a policy in place and procedures to make sure that there are controls in place that, we're operating it the best we can to ensure 504 compliance.
Sure.
And so with that, there was the commitment to HUD that we would have a policy in place, and then went so far as to draft and go over with them at length our proposed procedures on how we would do it. So there's been a good input from their part, and I think we're like maybe a day or two away from being able to publish that.
Gotcha.
But the policy will have to come first, of
Sure.
course, right?
Sure.
We just want to make sure that procedures followed soon after. And then with that, it's gonna be implementation down at the public housing section. So this applies to all HUD programs, but for the most part, Section 8 and public housing deal most direct with the participants and applicants of our program. So it was fitting. So we'll do like a train to trainer. We've already had HUD assisted training for all our folks too as well.
Nice. Was that incident rectified and everything was settled on that? side?
As far as
Or is it
we know,
ongoing?
we signed the conciliation agreement. Everything is all good, but HUD's of course monitoring to make sure that, you know, everything's good, that we met our end
Yeah,
of the agreement, yeah.
perfect. Thank you, Dee.
Yeah, no worries. But you guys familiar with, so the reasonable accommodation policy? So basically, one example, it deals with service animals, for example, or emotional support animals, right? And there are nuances. What's an emotional support animal versus a service animal?
Right.
Do pet policies apply to a service or support animal? And those are things that, you know, key staff needed to familiarize themselves with, right? Policies to make sure that they had a reference to go to, let's say if there was a personnel turnover, because those are the little things that, you know, where people can make common mistakes, right? Like applying a pet policy and say, no, you can't have pets, or you have to pay a fee to somebody who would be otherwise be authorized, you know, emotional support animal under reasonable accommodation for a disability.
So it's only the interpretation, basically.
Oh, well, it's
Yeah.
all about in the determination, right? And how that's determined, how people can request. Yeah, there are a lot of nuances, what we're allowed to do, what we're not allowed to do. Like one example, and these are more case studies, so more the GHURA, right? Some PHAs in the past, and it's cited by examples where they've had to help PHAs get into compliance. They might have a form that they're required to fill out, right? Well, based on, you know, DOJ interpretations, there's no we can't require a form. We can ask them to fill out a form, but they can make a request orally, they can make it in writing in any form, they can accept it from a third party with adequate knowledge. So all those little details, right, on those hows had to be really understood and written down in a way that anybody can pick up the 504 SOP and be able to not run into or cause a compliance issue. That was the main thing. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Thank you much. Any further questions? Yeah, the responsibility is yours, huh?
You know, it just made sense since I have majority of since I have the housing programs, right? And the staff that work with the clients fall under me, so.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Another cat.
You know, just wanna pull my weight.
Running out of sleep.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, make it a motion on the floor.
I'd like to make a motion
Sure.
for Guam Housing and Urban Development Authority Board of Commissioners Resolution FY 2024-13, resolution adopting GHURA's responsibility accommodation policy.
Right, thank you very much, Commissioner, for.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, he said responsible. If we could just say reasonable.
Sure, could we restate the motion one more time?
Okay, let's see, reasonable adopting, by changing responsible to reasonable again, or, oh no, I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority, Board of Commissioners Resolution number FY 2024-013, resolution adopting GHURA's reasonable accommodation policy.
Right.
Thank you,
Right,
Commissioner Corpus.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, legal. We now have a motion on the floor. Make it a second.
Second.
Thank you, Vice Chair, for the second. Any further discussion?
None?
All right, hearing and seeing none, may call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye. Raise your hand so I receive. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Aye.
All right, 5. Thank you very much, Commissioners. Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, DD.
Congratulations.
For the extra homework that you're gonna have.
Well, the homework's done. It's the continued work, but it's okay. For good reason.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on to item number 5, Executive Director's Report. Madam Director.
Thank you, Chairman. At this time for this meeting, we don't have any project updates. And as far as the division updates, we actually are foregoing having division updates until the next board meeting due to some, timelines that the divisions that were scheduled to do the updates have. So, in consideration of that, I said, okay, we will table the division updates for this meeting and we will have division updates at the next meeting as well as project updates because we just had a meeting a couple weeks ago and nothing really new to give you an update on. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much. So noted. Moving on to item number 6, general discussion or announcements. The next proposed scheduled board meetings for Tuesday, April 23rd, 2024 at 12 p.m. Please mark your calendars, and of course, the fine folks here will confirm that slot and your attendance. Any other discussion or announcements?
No.
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 Okay. All right, then let's move to adjourn. May I get a motion?
I will make a motion to
Okay.
adjourn our meeting for
All right,
today.
may I get a second?
Second.
So moved, right? Okay, so we call this meeting at 12:53 p.m. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Noisy person.
I know.
Way too long.
Really? Nice to see you.
Yeah,
again.
good to see you.
Uh,
Sorry.
yeah,
How you
it's
feeling?
a lot.